Hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Let me switch that a little bit there. Hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome to my craft room. Um, my name is Tina Bickford. I am the Tatted Stamper. I am an independent demonstrator here for Stampin' Up! Here in the US, located in the timeout section of the United States, otherwise known as New England, where we have been experiencing some pretty serious wind and cold and snow. If you are here watching live, leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if it's as crappy weather where you live as it is where I live. So tonight we're going to create using some new products. I just got a new my order in with some of the new online exclusives and so on. Welcome, Stacy. Yeah, South Florida must not be it must be hot down there. Is it hot down there? Good morning, Mom. Morning. Good evening, Mom. I'm so used to doing these morning ones. Is Dad watching with you? Hi, Dad. Hello, Louise from Maryland. Hello. It's cold there. Yeah, it's I think I'm gonna go visit Stacy. She's in South Florida, so it's gotta be warm there. So normally in mid 80s, yeah. Normally, I'm standing while I'm crafting, but my back is a little bit sore. So I'm going to be sitting for this, which is why you can see my chair and it's a little bit different background behind me. So the card design that we're doing, I guess you'd call it a fun fold. It's really just a specific way of cutting the card front. This is my Mom, tell Dad there's nothing good on the news. He needs to come watch me instead. This is way better than the news. So this is my original card design. Hello, Deborah from Sutter Creek, California. Oh, Sandra. Oh, 11 below with a wind chill in Oklahoma. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm staying in. It's like 60, I think it's 68 my craft room, so I can handle that. It's a little bit chilly. I've got my turtleneck on, but we're good. So this card design is one that I've done a video for before. This is my original card design. I think I called it, I don't know. I can probably put a link to my other video, or at the end of this video, I'll put the other video. But I think I called it a diagonal front peekaboo or something or other. I don't know. I don't remember. But it's super easy, and it looks like it took a lot longer than it really does. And I think we're going to make a masculine card out of it because I got some really great new designer series papers that I want to show you. All right, so let me switch down to the desk camera and let's see. Switch down to the desk camera and have you all take a look at these products that we're going to be using. So we're going to be using pecan pie for our card base. This is the color that we're going to be using. I feel like it's kind of masculine. And then we're going to be using some of this paper. This is new. It's called Woven Textures 12 by 12 paper. And it all looks like baskets and weaves and all of that kind of stuff. It's super, like this one looks like a linen. It's very cool. This is the paper that we're going to be using. I kind of feel like this reminds me of like a tweed jacket that a man would wear. So, tweed. That's why we're going to use that one. So then you've got, so on the linen, this is the back of the linen. It looks kind of like a basket weave. They really all kind of look like linens and woven textures and baskets and and so on. There, yeah, Stacey, isn't it? It's, and I love the colors in it. It's they're all neutral colors, but there's early espresso and pecan pie and crumb cake in here. And what other colors do they list? They list all the colors. So basic beige, crumb cake, early espresso, gray granite, and pecan pie. Wait, the gray granite one, wait till you see that one. That one's really, really pretty. And this is where we were going through. There's that basket weave one again with that crumb cake and basic beige in there. Gorgeous. And the linen. I love the linen. I actually made a card using that one. I wonder, oh, I have it right up here. I'll show you that one. Check out that one, like that basket. Isn't that cool? That one. So cool. And it's got this beautiful gray granite pattern on the back too. So that's new. This is new. Woven textures, 12 by 12 paper. This is the designer series pattern that we're going to use tonight with the pecan pie. All right, let me set that aside. And we'll start with our, let's just, let me show you some of the other products that we're going to use. So I'm just going to use these. I wanted to put some embellishments on this card, but I don't want it to be like frou-frou because this is going to be, a masculine card. So these are adhesive backed metallic gems. I have no idea if these are even still available, but they're just kind of, there's like copper and silver and gold in there. They're kind of cool. And then natural botanicals. So right now, celebration is going until February 28th. This is actually one of the stamp sets. So this is in the January to April spring mini catalog. This is now being offered as a free celebration set with a $60 purchase in the US. Oh, gorgeous. Love it. And it will actually do both of these stamps. So it's, I'm only going to use the one with the detail, but if you wanted to do like a shadow stamp, you could absolutely just use the back side of the photopolymer stamps and get just the shadow, just the outline. Gorge. So we're going to use that. Spring corners. So I've had this one for a little bit. This is in the mini catalog, and I've used it on a couple of things. And we're going to just be using this wishing you an amazing day. I love these because they go right around the corner. Thank you for everything. Always in your corner. That one is so cool. Through the happy and the sad, happy we are friends. You amaze me. Happy birthday. And then just some little, I love these little stamps here. I love them because you can just kind of fill in things and it gives it a little extra. Just a little extra. And when I'm doing the envelope flaps, I especially like to use things like that for fill in. So the spring corner dies you can buy as a bundle, and we're not going to be using these, but I did want to show them to you. They're awesome. Like, just cut out all of these designs for the corners, and then this gorgeous one here with a cone flower. And circles and hearts, and this one cuts out that balloon, and this one cuts out that stamped flower. This one right here, with this one in the circle, you can make a sun. It's cool, cool, cool. We're not going to be using those, but OMG, you guys, this is a new online exclusive, all zipped up. So the stamp set is just, looks pretty unassuming. It's just some sentiments. And what's funny, I don't have very many stamp sets that say congratulations. And I was looking to do a congratulations card, and I was looking through all of my 20-year-old Stampin' Up! Stamps, and I could not find one single one that said congratulations. So I was excited to get this one. But we're going to be using the happy birthday from here. I feel like this is kind of it could be a child-like font, but it really is, it's still kind of masculine to me, I think. So we're going to be using that one, but wait till you see the dies that you can get this with this bundle. So these are the all zipped up dies. Look at these. Oh my God. Like, you can make a sweater with a zipper with, a little trim on each side. How exciting. Little pockets. I can't wait to play with this. Little zipper pulls. I can't wait. I'm going to be making some cards with that. This literally just came last night. So I have actually been dealing with a very sick cat. My cat has been very sick for a few days since Friday night. And well, it was a 6-hour trip to the emergency vet on Saturday, so it was not fun. We got to go home. My husband and I got to go home. She had to stay there for 6 hours. But they just came, and I haven't had a chance to. I had a chance to just kind of open the packages up to take a look. This one is a red rubber cling mount stamp set. So you do have to put the stickers on yourself, unlike the photopolymer sets, and you can't see through these ones like you can the photopolymer. So we're going to be using that. Happy birthday. We're not going to be using any of the dies, but this right here is another one. This die is so cool. This is called the Pattern of Friendship die. And this is just, it's hard to see. Oh, that's going to be crazy on that camera. So this makes it look like, it's almost like a little, well, if you do it both ways, it kind of looks like a plaid. But it actually punches holes in the paper. All of that detail, those are all little holes in the paper. So we're going to be using that today. All right, let's start with, you guys are like, stop talking about all of that stuff, Tina, and just make the card. All right, so we're going to be using our Pecan Pie ink. So we're going to start with our card base. Our card base is 8.5 by 5.5, and we're scoring that at 4.25. And I didn't score that yet. I'm not sure why I didn't, but I didn't. So I will just plop this into my paper trimmer, line up the 8.5-inch side at 4.25, and come in with my light gray scoring blade and just give that a little score there. Set that aside. Now, when I score the cardstock, if you're doing it straight, you can just fold it and give it a burnish. Sometimes I find though that maybe I didn't have it in there straight, so I do like to line up the corners before I burnish. If I think that I got a little bit off, I'll line up those corners, and then I can come in here with my burnish and straighten that right out. Easy peasy, easy peasy. All right. So then we have our Designer Series paper. This piece is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And not only will I have a list of all of the products in the description of the video after, it takes me a little bit to work on that, so I'll do that. But I will also have a project sheet for this card if I don't already have one. So with all of the dimensions and everything. So this is, what did I say? This one was 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And you do also need a piece of white cardstock the same size. This is going to be for the inside of the card. Okay. And then we need just some other pieces. So we need one piece of, you can use whatever color. You can decide to use a color that coordinates with your card base or the same color as your card base. However you want to do that. This piece measures 2.5 by 5. Okay, we've got that. And then we have this piece of white cardstock. This is actually going to layer on top of that one. So it's just a skosh shorter than that. So it is 2 3/8 by 4 7/8. And then I just have this piece of white cardstock. I'm going to do some stamping on this. So this is just like 4 1/8. Oops, I didn't have to flip it. 4 1/8 by 3. This doesn't have to be exact. This just has to be big enough to fit whatever stamp you want to put on your card. All right. Let me move some of this stuff aside. Now for the fun part. Okay, so we're going to open up our card base and we're going to grab our paper trimmer. And I'm just going to grab a pencil. and I'm sure you guys are not going to be able to see this, but we're going to mark from this corner towards the score line. We're going to mark at 1.5 inches. And you can do that if you have grid paper. So you can set your grid paper here at the 0. I know that you can't see that very well here, but at the top of the grid paper, the center of the grid is at 0. And then it goes 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inches, 4 inches along the top on each side, so that you can center your card at that 0 and you can actually see where you're at on each side. So you can still use it as a ruler. So I want to mark it at 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to come from this edge here in at 1.5 inches, and I'm going to mark that. I'm going to do the same thing with my designer series paper. Now, this, you're not going to be able to see this one very well. I think what I will do is I will grab my erasable pen, and I'm going to come in here and do the same thing, lining this right up along that 0. And I'm going to come in and mark that at the 1.5 inches. Now you can't really see that very well. There, 7. All right, there. All right, 1.5 inches. Okay. So now we're going to do a little cut. We're going to do a diagonal cut. So I'm going to bring my paper trimmer in, and I'm going to line my paper up, my cardstock, with my 1.5 inch mark, and then the corner of my paper here. Now, the way I like to do it is I like to hold the corner in the right where the channel is, and with my finger, and then I like to rotate the card this way, because I can keep that point right where the channel is, rather than lining up this one and then trying to get the point in there, and then this side moves. So I'm just going to hold that. Now, before I do, you don't ever want to cut your blade into the corner. So I'm just going to go ahead and move my cutting blade up before I set the track down. So I'm going to hold this corner in, and I'm just going to rotate this until my mark lands right in that channel. Drop the track, hold some pressure, and just cut down. So now I have this cut. And my blades, I have to get new blades. I know I have new blades around here somewhere, but I cannot for the life of me find them. So that's all we did for our cut. Okay. We're going to do the same thing with our designer series paper. I'm just going to come in and hold this corner, cutting blade up, hold this corner in there, and I'm just going to rotate it until my 1.5 inch mark lines right up in that track. Drop the track, and there, like so. So now we have that one. Now, because I used an erasable pen, if there's any ink still left on there, you can just erase that right off of there. All right. So now we're going to take our 2 other pieces of cardstock. What did I say this one was? 2.5 by 5, and what was this one? 2 3/8 by 4 7/8. So we're going to cut these, and when we cut them, we're going to do a diagonal cut, and we're going to cut from the top left-hand corner to the bottom right-hand corner. And we're going to do that for both pieces. And then we're going to save this piece that's on the right to use on our card. Okay. So this one, because it's corner to corner, I'm still going to use the same method. I'm going to come down here, hold my finger right on that point, and I'm going to rotate this point. Now, I have 2 points, and I just told you, don't cut into your cardstock at a point. So I'm going to move my cutting blade right up here so that it lands in the middle of this paper. I'm going to drop that track, hold pressure, up and then back. And I'm going to keep this part for my card. Part is not used. Now, technically, this is the same exact size. So you could use this one also. It's exactly the same size. It means that if you're making more than one of these cards, then for these 2 pieces, you'll have 2 exact same pieces. You don't need these if you're going to make multiple cards. You just need one to make 2 cards. Okay. So we'll do the same thing here. We're just going to come in, hold the point, move that cutting blade up, drop it, and there. Save this piece for your card. Excellent. And I think that's it for the cutting blade and the paper trimmer. So we can set that aside. Now we're going to do I'm going to do some stamping. Let's just do some stamping. So I have to do some fussy cutting. Oh, did I mention that I really don't like fussy cutting? I really like my dies. So I'm just going to take my pecan pie and I'm going to take my, the inside of my card and the other piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to do my stamping. So the leaf, you can't see that very well. I have a stamp loaded on each side of this block. It's just easier for me, and I can still see the placement of it, so I can just use the same block. If you're not comfortable with that, you don't have to. So I'm going to use this the leaf stamp, and I'm just going to come in, and you can get fancy with this if you want to, stamp it in your pecan pie and then get a little sponge dauber and put like some early espresso on. Yeah, why don't we do that? I just talked myself right into that. You guys ever do that? Oh yeah, that's a great idea. And then, now you're digging out more supplies. I'm digging out more supplies. My sponge dauber and my early espresso. Pebbled path, not that one. My early espresso. So I'm super organized. Well, I mean, for the most part. So I have all of my sponge daubers. I have them all labeled with the colors, because when you look at this one, it doesn't look like it's early espresso. It almost has like a purple hue to it. So it's really kind of hard to know. And I don't wash those out every time, because if I'm reusing for the same color, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to come in with my sponge dauber, daub all around that ink pad, get all of that ink. And I'm just going to come in here on this, like on the edges, and I'm going to just dab some of that early espresso on the edges, just right on the tips of the leaves. And you don't really notice it on the stamp. And I mean, honestly, I don't know how it's even going to come out, but we're all going to find out. We're all going to find out at the same time. It'll be like a little surprise. There and there. And then we're going to just stamp that onto our small piece of cardstock. This is the piece we're going to fussy cut out. So there. Oh yeah, that doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad at all. Kind of like it. All right. We'll set that aside for a sec. We don't need the early espresso. We can put that back. So I'm going to take I'll take this one off. It was a little bit easier for you guys to see. So I'm going to take now this spring corners, and I'm going to load up my, so when you're, especially with these ones, so what I did with this is I took let me just show you. I mean, you guys have seen me or heard me say this before, but when you have long, narrow sentiment stamps like this, they can get, like, you can bend these things every which way you want. So if you want to make sure that they are straight, the best thing for you to do is just lay it out and just let it kind of relax and get into the shape that it should be in, and then come in and load it up onto your block. And then you know that it's straight that way, unless you don't want it straight. And that's okay too. So this one, I'm just going to come up, I'm going to stamp this in this upper left-hand corner. And pardon my head if I get it in there. Okay, so we have that. And then I'm going to come in with this happy birthday. So this is the one from that all zipped up stamp set. And I'm just going to come in here, load that up. And I'm going to actually put this right down here in this lower right-hand corner, right down there. We are all set with that. And then we're going to come in here and fussy cut this guy out, and I am going to do a very quick fussy cut, because we don't have dies for this set, which is too bad, because this is a really This is I really like this leaf, the shape of it and the lines in it. It's really kind of cool. And you could actually, this would be a good one to heat emboss with some embossing powder. You could fill it in with some, you know, different colored inks or do some coloring with it. It's pretty, it seems like it would be pretty versatile for that. I mean, you wouldn't know it from what I'm doing right now because I'm going through this fussy cutting, but I do like easy. I like easy card making. I like making cards that are easy, but look like they're not. And voila, we have that done. I know it took me longer to complain about it than actually fussy cut it. All right, so now let's start putting some, oh yeah, we have to do our die, our fancy schmancy die. So we're actually going to do that on just this little white triangle. So I'm just going to set that stuff aside for right now. And I'm going to bring my die cutting machine in. Now, with this die, because this die is so big and so solid, normally, and it's directional, normally I cut with my cutting blade down. It's just how I am comfortable. So my marked up cutting plate is always on the bottom. And I tell you, flip them, flip them, flip them, flip them, back to front, front to back, every which way. Because I want to make sure I have my paper straight on here, my design straight, I'm actually going to cut with the cutting blades up so that I can see them. So I'm putting my better cutting plate on the bottom. So this is a die, works the same as all of the others. It's base plate 1, thin die adapter 2, and then you're going to need 2 number 3 cutting plates. So move this out of my way. All right. So I'm going to come in here, make sure my plates are all lined up. And I do, when you have these really big dies that go through, man, it can be really hard to crank this thing. So I just twist it just a little bit. You don't have much room to twist this one, but it doesn't take much. Just a little bit is all you need. So I'm going to come in. This is the way it's going to be on my card. It's in this direction, going from wide to thin, going up towards the left. So this is the side I want the holes to be cut down into. So I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm going to line this up with just any one of the lines on this die. It's that easy. And then I'm just going to come in with my cutting plate, and I'm going to roll that through. And it's a big die, so it does. Hi, Luann, thank you for joining. Whoops. All right, so now I'm going to come in. Now I have that on there, and I did find that it was easiest for me to just use a pair of tweezers to just help get it, because there's a lot of holes in there. But look at what that does. Isn't that cool? Cool. Yeah. As if that's not cool enough, we're going to turn it around and go in the other direction. So I'm going to now I'm going to line up the bottom with one of those lines. And I just want to make sure I'm covering the whole thing. Now, you'll see if we don't get the tip of this exactly right, not going to be a problem, because we're actually going to end up snipping that off. But I'm going to come in here and just make sure I'm lined up to one of those lines there. Twist it just a smidge, and then roll it on through. Oh, still so hard. I'm getting muscles in my right arm. Ugh. Of course, it's a lot easier to roll this thing when you're standing and not sitting like I am tonight. So let's see what we have. All right, pry that up. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? I love it. I love that. Okay, so now let's bring back our stuff, all of our stuff. All right, we're going to put the inside in first, because that's easy, and that one's a given. So we're just going to take I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue, a little green glue, and I'm going to throw that on, and we are going to go as close to the edges as we can, but just a nice thin line because you don't want that glue getting all over your card. It will get all over your fingers if you are anything like me, because it is already all over my fingers. All right. So for this one, see, and you know what? That's just what I wipe it on my pants. That's what I'm wearing leggings, so I can wipe it on my leggings. And then that just goes in there like so. So when you close it, you're still going to see that happy birthday. Cool. Now our designer series paper, we're going to just glue that to the front. And same thing, just a nice thin line of that glue. Like that. All right. I am going to hold this sideways so that I can see it a little bit better. Like that. I mean, already a pretty decent card, right? But then we're going to come in with this piece of this triangle piece. And we're going to glue this over onto this side. Now, you're not going to be able to, you can't just put glue on the whole thing because you've got this little triangle down here. So what I did, and you can do, if you feel better using a tape runner, you can do that and just put some, on the edge here and, kind of guess. What I did was got my glue ready before I did this. I lined it up where I was going to line it, where I was going to glue it, and then just very carefully flipped it right up and over. So it is exposing all of the area that I'm going to be able to put glue. So I'm just going to come in here and just put my green glue. And then I can just come back in, flip it back over, and I'm going to line this side and this side up with the card bottom and side. Nice and even Steven, just like that. Yay. And then we're going to just trim this little triangle off. So I just flip it over and just trim what is exposed like that. And then we have to put this piece on. Now, this piece I just punched a bunch of holes in. So I'm going to use my green glue, but I'm going to be very careful, very thin lines. And when I put it on, I'm not going to press real hard because I don't want the glue to come out. Again, you can use a tape runner if you want. I am just comfortable with my glue. So I did my sample one in with the tape runner, and I just don't get close enough to the edges. So it looks like the edges kind of lift, and I just don't like that. So, all right, so I'm going to just flip this to the side. I'm just rotate it to the side just because it's easier for me to position everything. So I'm just going to come in here and line this up. Nice even border around all of it. It's a very thin border. We are leaving just a very thin border. And just a nice, easy press. Don't get too aggressive. Just nice. I just come in here and I just rub that just a little bit. And then we're going to trim this off. So you can trim this from the back or you can trim it from the front. It doesn't matter. I'm trimming it from the front, and I'm actually trimming along some of those holes because I know that they are straight. Like so. And yeah, the holes are straight, but I didn't cut it straight. Okay, well, there it is. There it is. Thank you, Roxy. Yes, I like this design. It's easy. It's so easy, and it looks like it's more complicated than it really is. It's a diagonal cut, and you can glue it on. So now I'm just going to take this die cut piece, and I'm going to throw some dimensionals on there. You guys, we're almost done with this card, and I'm just going to pop those backings off. Come on. Oh, always one that doesn't want to come off. Okay. And then I'm just going to come in and I'm going to put this leaf right here. I'm going to overlap this section just a little bit. Put that on like so. And then I'm just going to grab my embellishments and my take your pick tool. Oops. And I'm going to throw some of these on. Now I put one here and then I put a small one. Oops, a small one here also. And then I put another big one just kind of up here where that leaf is. There, up the side. And that's our card. So look, cool. It's got all of this texture on there. And this, like this looks like you can, like it's a feely card. You know what I mean? Like you actually expect to feel that burlap tweed kind of feel, but it's completely smooth. You don't feel it at all. So then you just have all of this texture and dimension and bling on the front. You can see the inside, but there's still a little surprise on the inside when you open it up. Wishing you an amazing day. And there you go. So there's that one. I did the exact same thing. That's my other cards. Now we have 2 masculine cards made. Woohoo. And then let me just show you. I didn't have a bunch of extras that I did. But so this is actually the one that I did the video on. This is the one that started it all. This is the one that I needed to send. I was doing a card swap and I needed to come up with, you know, 3 cards. And my original thought for this card, when I cut this diagonal, after I cut it, I went, shoot, that's not what I wanted to do. And I set the papers aside. And when I pushed them aside, this piece landed on top of this piece off to the side, and I saw this little opening and I thought, oh, I like that. So you can put, a rectangular piece on here, like I did these. These ones here, I didn't put a second layer on here. I just embossed this cardstock like so, like that. Both of those. And this is that, if you guys don't already recognize this stamp set, this is another Celebration stamp set. This is $120 order. So this one is called heart-shaped, and it comes with some beautiful dies. As a matter of fact, those, let me just see if I can put a little piece of paper behind there so you can see that, because you can't really see that die very well. But see how beautiful that die is? Isn't that gorgeous? Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you. Oh, Regine Ann. Yes, I know. Simple. I love simple, simple, simple. It is easy, easy. So the other thing I wanted to show you real quick before I say goodbye is the card I did. So use this designer series paper. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about, like, am I going to be able to make a card with that big basket design on it? I wasn't sure. I thought, okay, well, maybe for a scrapbook page or something. I don't scrapbook anymore. But I love that each side, each one of those papers comes with that. You've got a bold design on one side of the designer series paper, and then you've got a more subtle design on the other side. So I thought that was really, I like that. Thank you, Aunt Judy. Thank you for joining. This is just a really simple card that I did using that. This one looks like the linen. And I know that this is hard to see on the camera. I'm trying to see it myself, not wiggle it so that it will focus. It is so cool. This is actually a die that I cut out of the designer series paper. This is another new item, a new online exclusive that will be coming soon. This is called Fancy Borders. It's very cool, very cool. And then this rose just came out of my Hearts of Elegance, and I just popped that and the tag up on some dimensionals. and nice and easy card. Just really simple, really clean look. And all it is, the designer series paper is doing all the work, all the work. So there are the cards. And I apologize. I didn't have, I'm wiggling the camera. Oh my goodness. I apologize. I didn't have a lot of other samples to do. I mean, to show you. I usually like to have a bunch of samples to show you. So there will be a project sheet coming for the card. I don't know if it will be this exact one with these products in it or not, because I do have to take pictures of everything. So maybe it'll be another one. I don't know, but it will definitely be for this cut. Although you guys got this, it's so easy to do, right? All right, let me flip the camera back. Yeah, figure out how to flip the camera back. Here, okay, I got it. I flipped it back. So anyway, I think if I'm remembering correctly, I think I called it the diagonal open front card or something like that. I'll try to put a link to my other video if you wanted to see how the green one was made, the green one with just embossing this, but no different. The only difference on this is instead of a sentiment, I did a little stamp on the side that would show on, with that tag. So let me know what you think about the cards. So I follow a woman in the UK, Iced Images, Louise from Iced Images, and Louise was kind enough to actually demonstrate a card that I designed that I called the triple flap fun fold card. And I just wanted to, if she's watching or if she comes back and watches the replay, I just want to send a great big huge thank you so much, Louise, for doing my card and sending people my way. It has been an absolute mind-blowing couple of days with how many people have subscribed to my channel because they watched you. So thank you. Big shout out to Louise for Iced Images. If you don't already follow her, you're missing out. So you need to go follow her. Yeah. So I am planning on being back Sunday, Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is my normal weekend tutorial. So I am planning on being back, and I don't think we have any storms in store for us this weekend. So I don't think I'll have internet problems. Fingers crossed. We'll have a good video, and I'll design something else. I got lots of new products. I got lots of them. So don't tell my husband. I got lots of them. So I'll have some other new products to show, and I'll have some other fun card to make by then. So I hope you all enjoyed this. If you're in the US and you are interested in Stampin' Up! Products and you don't already have a demonstrator, I will put a link in this video for you to shop with me. I would love to be your demonstrator. As always, there will be a free project sheet eventually linked to in the description of the video. I will hope to have that done tomorrow. And yeah, so I hope you all have a great rest of your week. You can follow me over on Facebook at the Tatted Stamper. That's where I'll be posting all of the pictures of all of the cards over there. So if you want to follow me over on Facebook, that would be great. I also have an Instagram account, the Tatted Stamper. I don't really post a lot over there because, managing 2 social media platforms is a struggle. So, yeah, Liz, isn't she? Louise is amazing. I can't even thank her enough for, showing my card. It was it was a very humbling experience to watch her demonstrate my cards. So it was great. So I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I hope that you join me again on Sunday. I promise you I will have a great card. And yeah, I hope to see you then. Bye.